Okay. Yeah. Good afternoon, everybody. This is Animal Paradise. Um, most times I'm trying to be making my videos on farms or from farms where we have animals or we have an environment that look like a farm, but it's not always possible. I can't make all those videos from there. Some persons were saying that they don't even think I have goats. They say they don't think I have goats, but that's their opinion. They have right to think what they like. But for some other persons, they actually some people have come to our farms, and then some people have come to our farms, but by next year we are going to be opening our farm up for farm visits. Yeah, people can actually come to the farm, and we are working on how to make that happen from next year. Maybe from January next year, we'll have people come to the farm. We'll have people come for training, even though it's just once in a year. We can do that. We'll gather up people, create sensitization from January to maybe like April, and then everybody comes, and then we do a training in the farm. I'm working on that, so that we can have a kind of a physical contact, a physical meeting, more than the social media own. But meanwhile, the major problem we are having in animal farming, or the major problem we are having when buying goats, is PPR, the PPR disease. It's a West African thing. I don't even know if this thing is playing well. Let me off my ear pod so that it will not interfere. So the PPR is the major problem we are having when stocking. So it kills the animals, it kills the goats. It produces diarrhea, catarrh, and cough. Though catarrh is the beginning of PPR actually, and it kills the animal, it kills the goats. If you are a big player in the goat system, you must have lost goats to PPR. Even though you just buy goats, it's possible that you must have lost goats to PPR. And then the PPR virus is very strong. The weather, wet environment, cold environment, and wet environment used to make it strong. Used to give it a kind of an advantage. It used to make it strong. So because of that, we try not to stock during the rainy season, so that the rainy season makes the PPR disease strong. So even when you're battling it up with antibiotics, it will be difficult. But the dry season used to weaken it. I see it used to weaken it. It doesn't have so much strength in the dry season. That's why you see in the northern region of Nigeria that is always dry, the animals do well. They do well because the environment it's not friendly to PPR. It's not friendly. When we will be at the middle of rainy season, yes, some northern states will still be having wet seasons. So, sorry, dry seasons. While we are in the middle of rainy season in the south, some of the northern regions will still be very, very dry and hot. It will be dry and hot. It will be heat. Even you, human being, will be consuming much water during that season. So, down here in the south, the rains are going down. We are approaching November. Even though there are some states that is still having high number of rain, but most of us in Edo region, some other regions, states, the rains are going down. At least sometimes in 2 weeks you don't get rain, and most of the areas are dried. Even the grasses are getting dried. So we are preparing for stocking season. We are preparing for stocking now. We are preparing for stocking. So the advantages is that when you stock during this dry season, the strength of PPR will be low. PPR will not be so strong. So when you're using antibiotics to battle them, you'll be getting results. And the high number, the weather will be helping you to fight the disease. So if the weather is helping you to fight the disease, the small one that shows up in the animals, when you administer antibiotics, you will just get results. I've seen it. Unlike the rainy season, when the weather is not helping. It's not helping. You administer antibiotics, you will still lose more. So the percentage of animals that PPRO will kill in the rainy season is higher that the percentage of animals that PPRO will kill during the dry season. So that's why we always wait for dry season. We always wait for November, December, January, February, March to stock. You can buy as much as your money can buy, and then there are high percentage possibility that a high number will survive. So stocking season is coming. We are preparing. That's the advantage of the stock of waiting till November. There are possibilities that high number will survive. What are the disadvantages? There are still some disadvantages in waiting till November. First of all, right now in Nigeria, because of the fuel crisis, the cost of transportation is high. It's very high in Nigeria right now. Okay, so sorry for that. When I was making the video, a call came into the phone, and then it's I wanted to cut it off, then I now answered it, and it now cut off the phone. So what I'm going to do is to add this one to that one. So what I was saying is that because of the cost of petrol or fuel in Nigeria now, transportation is high. It's very, very high in Nigeria right now. So that's one of the disadvantages of this our stocking period. And then another disadvantage is also disease, because in this dry season, a lot of animals are moving from one place to another place. A lot of people have been waiting now to stock. As we are waiting, so other people are waiting. So now it's stocking season, like everybody rushing to the field, and then a lot of animals will be moving. As a lot of animals are moving, the good ones are moving, the bad ones are moving, the good ones are moving, the diseased ones are also moving. So diseased animals will be moving, the quantity will be high this same season. So that's why it will be good to carefully select the regions and the area where you buy your animals from. It will be good to carefully select. There are people who are dealing on slaughter animals. That's their business. Those ones, if you want breeding stock, those ones can mix with slaughter animals with the breeding animals, and disease will be transferred to your farm. Are you seeing it? So you must be careful when buying animals, especially if your farm is a new farm. It's new and fresh. Try as much as possible not to bring disease into your farm, because sometimes if you're during quarantine, if you bring one animal into your farm that has a disease, even though you're quarantining them, that disease, once it is a virus, once it enters into that your land, your farm land, it doesn't die easily. If a goat that has PPRO comes and he has sneezed or use PPRO to rub the walls, either through the catarrh or through the diarrhea, to rub the walls or stain the floor of your farm, you may either treat that animal and vaccinate the animal, or the animal dies and you buried it, but the virus has been introduced to that area, that farm. The virus was on the diarrhea that is shit on the ground. The virus was on the walls of your pen that he either used his catarrh to stain or sawed or anything. You will be able to treat the particular animals that came together, vaccinate them. The ones that will die off. The one that will survive. Some other animals that will come in later, they may pick up the virus from there. They are coming with that virus, but they get to your farm, and in your quarantine room, they pick it up. And then let me quickly say this: you must also learn how to always fumigate your quarantine area. Whatever you're using for quarantine, immediately the animal pass, they graduate. Immediately they graduate, and you vaccinate them, and you introduce them to the herd. Fumigate the place you're using for quarantine. Most times it's good to fumigate it before they comes and fumigate it after. Now, the chemical to use for fumigation is not those ones that have big names. Just buy hypochlorite. Hypochlorite is that blue sachet hypo that we are using to wash white shirts. That's hypochlorite. That's hypo we are using to wash white shirts. When you want to wash dirt off your white shirt, hypo bleach. I think it's called hypo bleach. Just buy hypo. I think those days used to be 50 naira. It's even 50 naira now. You can buy the one of 5,000 naira. Put them inside a sprayable can. a can you can spray, and spray it everywhere. Small, there are some hand cans you can spray, not the big knapsack 16-liter sprayer. To fill that with a hypo may be too high. Get a hand sprayer, some small hand sprayer. You can go to the extent of using that stuff that some saloons are using. There are some barbing saloons that when you finish barbing, they will use one hand sprayer to spray something on your hair. You can use that hand sprayer. I was using that before. You can use that. There are some other hand sprayer that is like 2 liters hand sprayer. You pump it, you press the top, it's yellow in color. You press the top, and by the time you press it, it starts spraying by itself. It has pressure inside. You can also use that to fumigate before and after quarantine. Before and after quarantine. When you have quarantined the area, you fumigate them. That's that. So the disease, the virus doesn't die easily. Some of the virus can be in the sand for months. They'll be in that sand for months. Sometimes you can fumigate your area when baby goat comes. When baby goat comes, you don't vaccinate them on time, they will pick up the disease, though they got immunity from their mother. But if that immunity also has, the vaccine itself has a time it will expire in the body of the animals. Not to talk of the immunity that the babies got from the colostrum. That one also will expire. So if you get a baby goat, you don't vaccinate him on time, it's going to pick up the virus if the virus is in your farm. Before you know, they start having PPR, they start having diarrhea. Before you know, they start dying off. And then let me say this at this point, you can vaccinate your baby goats of PPR from 6 weeks. 6 weeks, 7 weeks, 8 weeks. You can actually vaccinate them with PPR. You don't have to wait too long for them to begin to have issues. So that's that. Stocking season is coming. One of the disadvantages is that disease is also moving. Disease is moving. We have PPRO disease in Nigeria. It's a West African problem. We are trying to see how we can limit it. I don't know if we can eradicate it. It's going to take years. Government is going to come in to help us to eradicate it. But any farmer who hears what I'm saying should tell any farmer he knows that they must vaccinate their animals with PPR vaccine. If you vaccinate 10, we are reducing the numbers. If you vaccinate 20, we are reducing the numbers of non-vaccinated animals. And if there are a high number of non-vaccinated animals out there, it's going to affect us. It's going to affect us one way or the other, because we are still going to go and buy. Well, as far as you're still coming, you're still stocking your farm, you're going to buy. And the ones, you may not buy the ones that have the disease, but somehow, if they are out there, it has a negative effect on us. We're having fears, it's risking our investments. We're going to go and buy goats and then some will die. That's a risky business. So, but if we create the sensitization that everybody should vaccinate and everybody's really vaccinating, it's going to help us. Because one day you may buy goat from me, one day I may buy goat from you. If you have vaccinated animals, I buy from you, my money is secured. If your animals are not vaccinated, I buy goat from you, my money is endangered. I've seen it. And so let us create the sensitization. Sometimes I think that we used to even give free vaccination to some people. When we go to one particular farm and then we open a vial and maybe vaccinate like 30 goats, and then you see that it's still remaining. You see some neighborhood goats. You can vaccinate them. I think I did that one certain time in one area I went to. I don't even know those goats before. I was like, okay, go and call the owner. They didn't see the owner. We just have to catch that goat and give them vaccine. Because the vaccine we're going to throw it away. And then there's goat available. The more goat we vaccinate, the safer our investments are. If people can share with you how much they have lost by buying non-vaccinated goats, you will cry. You will cry because the goat will die. It will have issues. Some of them that we are still able to save, it costs money to buy antibiotics. And those prices of antibiotics now, they are getting high. I think the price of things in Nigeria is getting high. So the antibiotics also is getting high. Are you seeing it? So these are the advantages of stocking this season. But it is still better than stocking in the rainy season. Are you seeing it? We have PPR, disease spreading. As you're moving animals in this dry season, a lot of the traffic of animals is high. So the disease ones also, the number that will be moving is also high. Some will carry PPR along. Many will carry PPR along. Many will carry pox along, the pox disease. A lot of farms have had pox disease in their farms. They'll carry along. Anthrax. Anthrax is a disease that came out that we begin to. There was an outbreak recently. It has been there, but it has not been disturbing us. But it came up some months ago. It's still there. As we are trafficking animals right now, disease is also being moved. So be careful where you buy animals from. Don't buy animals from slaughter markets. Animals where slaughter animals are being sold. PPRO is there. Disease is there. Don't buy from that. I think I made a video one certain time of where to actually buy animals from. I did that. Buy animals from villagers. Buy animals from trusted breeding people who supply breeding stock, breeding animals. There are people who still supply that. Discover them. Buy breeding animals from them. Those ones are carefully selected, treated well. Breeding animals is not transported by trailer. All those animals they used to put on top of trailer, they will stand for 2 days from north to south. That's stress already. Some of them will not even eat for all those days while they're on top of that trailer. They'll load cows inside the trailer. They'll put some wooden platform on top of the trailer and load goat on top. That is a pattern to transport slaughter animals. If you transport breeding animals by that, you will lose many. Many of them will die before 2 weeks. They will die off. It's a pattern to transport slaughter animals. Slaughter animals don't take long. People will buy them, they'll kill them, they'll eat them. And then sometimes when the slaughter animal want to die, the people who sell them know who to call to come and buy their wanting to die or already dead slaughter animals. They have their link that they sell those things to. You don't want to buy animals for breeding in your farm. Don't transport your animals by that process. The process is, if you're buying 20 to 30 pieces, get a Sienna vehicle. There are vehicles they will call Sienna in Nigeria. Remove all the seats, put your animals in the inside. It can take 25 animals, can take 30 animals. Transport it by that. If you're getting high number, 50 number, there's this bus called 18-seater passenger bus in Nigeria. The people in Nigeria can relate to the languages I'm using. 18-seater passenger bus. They know what it means. Get that bus, remove all the seats, put beddings. There are beddings you put inside. The animals will stay on that beddings. It's a capacity of 50. If you overload it, they will lie down on themselves as you are traveling for 2 days or 124 hours from the north down to where you are, from anywhere to where you are. They will lie down on themselves. Lying down on themselves will affect them. If you get a bus, most of the times we always put somebody behind in the bus who's going to be standing them up and ensuring that all through the journey, they will not lie on each other. If they lie on each other and press some, suffocate them, some will die. By the time you finally get to your destination, you're offloading the vehicles, you'll be dropping living animals and dead animals along. That's why sometimes we'll pay someone to sit at the back with the animals. It will be helping to lift them up, lift them up, lift them up. We'll be lifting them up until we get to where we are going. Sometimes journey from the north to the south is always maybe 24 hours, sometimes higher, depends on the condition of vehicles. And then if you don't choose a vehicle well, you may load your animals in a vehicle. After the vehicle have traveled for like 12 hours, it will break down somewhere. And sometimes it will take 6 hours to go and get a mechanic to fix it. So also select. Don't just say, okay, because I want transportation is expensive, I want a cheap transportation. You now get a not so good vehicle. The vehicle is not so good. The driver is looking for money to even fix 1 or 2 problems he has been seeing in his vehicle. He'll just tell you, okay, how much? You say, I want to give you $100. He'll say, okay, let's go. You just load your animals and you go, and the vehicle go and break down on the way because you want to save cost of transportation. At the end, you go and get a vehicle that will kill the animals. That will be too bad. And then after buying animals, there are preparations you do. Once you buy the animals, you prepare them for the journey. And once they finally get to their destinations, you distress them. Once they get down from the vehicle. There is a treatment you give them, a kind of a welcoming treatment you give them. Now, I'm not talking about medical treatment now. A welcoming treatment you give them to ensure that they are comfortable, distressed or de-traumatized, and then you gradually, systematically begin to introduce the quarantine program that you have for them. But as they come down from the vehicle, there is a welcoming ceremony you give them. So that's that from stocking season. It's coming. You can actually buy any number of animals you want this season. Be very, very selective with the region you buy your animals from. There are regions you buy your animals from, you'll be having problems. big problems. There are regions you will buy from, there are states you will buy from, you will not have much problems. Are you seeing it? These are some of the things we enlighten our people about in our mentorship club. Members of the mentorship club are told states where you buy your animals from. There are states where you buy your animals from, you will not have problems. There are market names that will be giving you as a mentorship club member. Say, go to so and so market, send people to so and so region, buy animals from there. Your animals will not be having issues. When they come, this is so and so name of antibiotics you will use for them, and then they will not have issues. Are you seeing it? So that's that for that. The rains is coming. So that's that. Be selective. Don't just buy animals from anywhere. They are going to bring disease along, and then you're going to have issues. And then if you have animals in your farm already, please ensure they are vaccinated every 6 months. Every 6 months, renew their PPR vaccine. Every 6 months, renew their pox vaccine. Every 6 months, if you like, renew their anthrax vaccine. Renew the vaccines you are using for your goats. And then I want to say this, there are more vaccines than the ones we have mentioned now. But I don't think I have the authority to mention the name of those ones apart from the ones I've mentioned. And there are some other vaccines you can introduce to your goat. Some other farmers are introducing them to their goats, actually. Especially now that the Boer goat is coming into Nigeria. Boer goat and Savannah goats, they are coming into Nigeria. Those guys have received some vaccines that we don't have in Nigeria. If you want to properly manage your Boer and Kalahari, you must also go back to South Africa and get those vaccines and vaccinate them. Continue to be renewing them. Don't just buy them and leave them here. Those vaccines, it has been introduced to their body. They need it. You have to be renewing it on them, because the environment where they are coming from, that disease is there. Sometimes it may be that they already have contact with it, but their body immune system is managing it. And so you just have to help them to continue those vaccines that they are used to in South Africa. You have to continue using it for them. And if you like, so you use it for your Nigerian animals. It's not bad, because those diseases, as we are bringing animals from South Africa into Nigeria, we know that the airport authorities are doing their work, but the vaccine is a micro thing. It's not going to tell us it's coming. It's not going to tell us it's hiding anywhere. It's not going to tell us it's hiding under the crates that those animals were used to transport. That we used to transport those animals. It's not going to tell us it's hiding inside the hoof of the animals. It can come along. So we also must be on guard to ensure that we continue that vaccine. That's that for the disadvantages. Another of the disadvantages is that the prices of animals now may be higher than normal, and the traffic is high. The number that is bad, the people are buying now is a little bit high. The sellers, they are also going to increase the price. I remember what they used to do in one of the markets we used to go. There is a region, there's a level, there's a particular age of goat we used to buy. If that age of goat is like 100 in the market, by the time you have bought like 70 of it, the people who have like 30 remaining will just increase their price, because they see that the level, that age is being cleared out of the market. First day, second day, third day, they will just increase their price. Excuse me. And you wanting to meet up with the capacity of the vehicle you want to use, maybe you want to load 50 in the vehicle, you have gotten 70, you are looking for 100, you can't move the vehicle without loading them, you will have no option but to buy at the new price. Are you seeing it? You have no option but to buy at the new price, because they may just add 5,000 to the money or 10,000 to the money. What do? Do you say because they have increased it with 5,000 naira, you're going to now take 70 animals with a vehicle of 100 capacity? You're going to also lose transport there. Are you seeing it? Because those buses, the amount they are going to use to transport 10 is the amount they're going to use to transport 50, because you're hiring the whole vehicle. So you just have to fill it up. Are you seeing it? So the prices is going to be a little bit higher. If you've bought animal in the past season, this rainy season, and don't use that price to make your budget when you've got into this rainy season and you still want to buy animals. Get an extra cash in your pockets. And if you're also going to buy animals, or if you're going to do anything, get an extra cash. There may be unforeseen circumstances on the way. You can load the vehicle with all your animals inside, and you're traveling, the vehicle breaks down. Some drivers can be funny. They don't have money to fix their vehicle. the vehicle will break down. Your animals are inside. The driver is just walking up and down, doing one kind. He doesn't have money to fix the vehicle. You just have to bring out money and fix that vehicle and carry your animal home safe and sound. Because the drivers not being responsible, I don't want to use bad language, the driver not being responsible is endangering your investments. The vehicle has breakdown on the way. He doesn't have money to pay mechanic. And maybe you gave him advance. The advance, he gives some to his wife and use some to buy fuel. He will tell you to pay extra. Or maybe he will collect your money from you. At the end, he doesn't have money to fix the vehicle. You can't leave your animals inside there. You fix that vehicle. Sometimes you may even have to hire another vehicle and transload your animals and move. Meanwhile, the first money you pay the first driver, it has gone. He won't see it to refund to you. But your animal's life, the number of hours they spend inside that vehicle is dangerous. It's dangerous to the animals, dangerous to your money. So you don't let them stay too long inside that vehicle. As they are there, get another vehicle. You see they can't fix this one. Along the way, be stopping vehicle. You see another free vehicle, transload your animals. Don't care about the extra cash. Move your animals. Take them to the destination. Are you seeing it? Those are some of the challenges you will meet up with. Some people will tell you, I ordered for animals in so and so place. They left since 3 days ago. The vehicle broke down. That story is going to kill some of the animals. The vehicle broke down. That vehicle broke down. It's going to be a stress on the animals. Some animals will get to the destination dead. Some others will get there and they can't stand anymore. Are you seeing it? So, be prepared for all these things. It can happen to the right. It can happen to the left. Just be prepared. And then don't be rigid. Be a little bit flexible. Rigidity is going to bring in a stiff system that the whole process is for your own advantage if you handle it well. It's your business you're buying. It's your investment you're chasing. If you're too strict, it may hinder. Just be flexible. If something happens and then you say, okay, what do we do? Driver say need extra money. Just give him extra money. Sometimes you get to one place, some of those, I think the Yoruba people call them Agbero. Some of the Agbero will just hijack the vehicle. They will hijack the vehicle and say it's not supposed to load this and that, and then just be flexible. Don't say I've already paid the driver and I know. No, be flexible. It's your animals that are inside there. The driver can just relax. Your animals are the ones that's being endangered. Sometimes you may just get to one particular place. Our Nigerian police will stop you and tell you a fraction of the Nigerian law that you're not supposed to use that vehicle that is transporting human beings to transport animals. That you don't use Sienna and passenger bus to transport animals. They'll begin to quote law. And meanwhile, just find your way. Do everything possible to get your animals away from any kind of hindrances or any kind of problems. Get them straight to your farm. Welcome them well. Put some glucose in water for them to drink. As they're coming down from the vehicle, put glucose in water. Let them drink. Glucose, there's something called glucose D. Put glucose D in water. Let them drink. Let them really drink, because some of them are traveled for 24 hours. They didn't drink water. And let them drink. Get feed. And as you're buying animals, also buy the feed that they are used to. Any area where you're buying animals from the north, buy the feed that they are used to. Because all the days of quarantine, they're going to be eating the feed that they are used to. If you buy from the south, buy the feed that they are used to. If you introduce them to a new feed in the process of quarantine, it may lead you astray. That new feed may give them diarrhea, and then you will be thinking that diarrhea is a PPRO diarrhea. Meanwhile, it's just a change of feed diarrhea. So you will not change their feed, not until you have vaccinated them, so that you can be sure that you have defeated PPRO before you change their feed. So when you now see that they are having diarrhea after vaccination, you know the vaccination has sit in their body, that this diarrhea is feed-induced diarrhea. You don't have to have headache about it. Some of them, if you leave them, it will stop by itself. Some of them, if you just give them treatment 1 or 2 times, it will stop. So feed-induced diarrhea is not something you should worry about. But PPRO-induced diarrhea is something you should worry about. It's dangerous, very dangerous. So be flexible, buy feed along, and then the vehicle you're loading the animals, let them have beddings. They don't just load them on top of the iron of the vehicle. They have beddings. They can use cartons. They can use cartons as beddings. They can use straw. There's a straw in the nuts that they can use as beddings on the vehicle you're loading them, so that their body will be okay. Their body will not be paining them when they get here. So do everything to make them comfortable. Above all, buy animals from people that supply breeding animals. That will help all the process. Those guys know what to do, because the animals are not going to die. They are going to multiply. So they'll give them comfort in a way. They give them comfort. So this is Animal Paradise. We have 4 WhatsApp groups: Animal Paradise Mentorship Club, Animal Paradise Forum, Animal Paradise WhatsApp group, and Animal Paradise free group on WhatsApp. It's a free group. The other group I mentioned are paid group. They have their different functions. If you want to join those paid group, fine. You notify, we'll add you to those paid group. They have their benefits. If you don't want to join the paid group, we have a free group. We'll add you to that. The major essence of all these things is for you to be able to ask questions, and those questions will be answered. Like all these things I've said since now, some people will have questions to ask. They may not be able to ask it well on YouTube. If they're able to ask it well, I don't respond well on YouTube. I do that better on WhatsApp. That's why I always put my number there. You can always reach me on WhatsApp, ask your questions, and then they will be answered. This is Animal Paradise. If you come across our videos on YouTube, just subscribe to support us. Yeah, subscribe to our channel. It goes a long way to support and to encourage us. Are you seeing it? So subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our page on Facebook, Animal Paradise Farm on Facebook. We have Animal Farmers Association also on Facebook. Help us to also join that group on Facebook. Thank you very much. I'm going to make another video now and talk about something else. But meanwhile, this particular video, at the beginning, I'm going to add that video that went off just now to it. Thank you very much once again. Bye-bye.